Okay, good morning, everybody. Please rise for the Fargo Police Department Honor Guard and posting of the colors. Honor Guard, attention. Forward, march. Mark time. Hold. Right face. Prepare to post. Post. Present arms. Order arms. Left face. Forward march. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. I would like to introduce you to Chaplain Sarah Siebold, one of our department chaplains, for the invocation this morning.
Isaiah 6:8 says, "Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, 'Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?' And I said, 'Here am I, send me.'" Please join me in prayer for these men and women who have answered the yes to the call of serving our community with the Fargo Police Department. Dear Lord, as these new officers are sworn in today, we ask that you guide them to serve the Fargo community well, living into the core values of the Fargo Police Department, those values of fairness, accountability, respect, guardianship, professionalism, diversity, and officer wellness. Strengthen these men and women in their work. Protect them and their families as they serve, and bless them with rest and renewal of their souls when they are home. Guard them, guide them, and help them in all they do, so they may fulfill the oaths they make on this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, welcome everyone to a really big day for a lot of people. Pretty auspicious occasion here. It's great to see the room full with so many folks in support of a very important thing, right? Swearing in some new officers here at Fargo PD. Want to recognize and thank our elected officials who are here. Our honor guard did an outstanding job as usual. Our department staff, other agencies, our training group who has done just exemplary work in getting these 10 folks ready to take their next steps in a career here with our department. And of course, welcome our new officers from FPD Academy number 5. Yana Charette, Aaron Duncan, Molly Gast, Anderson Hagarat, Jaden Jackson, Jack Kruger, Roderick Murphy, Landon Smith, Gage Tessing, and Cole Winter. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Equally important, let's recognize the family of our new team members. Thank you all for raising such outstanding people and for sharing them with our department. It's much appreciated, and we want to give you a round of applause as well. Thank you. Before I continue with my remarks, I'd like to bring up to the podium our mayor, Dr. Timothy Mahoney.
morning as well. I'm really excited today because we have more family than we do have police officers in here today, which means we have 10 graduates. So that's fantastic because you're filling the room. Next time, Chief, let's do 20. I mean, it's just fantastic to get all bigger room, yeah. But it's really nice to see the family here because oftentimes we have this smaller, and I get all my officers get to stand in the back, and I get to see a part of our police force standing with us today, and that's just fantastic. Before I say anything else, I want to say congratulations to the new graduates. I know you've gone through a hard training, difficult times at times. The communications team frequently will show us the different things you do, and I'm glad I've never been tased. Glad to see how you manage that and what you do with that, but it's fantastic. You have been challenged mentally and physically in your training. You have committed to memory the proper techniques of safety, effectively serving as guardians of our community. You have faced difficult tasks and challenges of learning with a wealth of knowledge. And through all that, you have persisted and rose to the challenge. This speaks volumes of your character. We are honored to have you representing our city. Serving our community is not for the faint of heart. Your interactions oftentimes will come to people's worst day. They will look for you to guide them and to lift them up. I would ask at that time you have some compassion for those people because they don't often know what they're doing at that time. And with your leadership and your ability to work with them, I think we'll have good outcomes. I'm so proud of our police force because with our training and with the leadership we have within our corps, what happens is we have excellent people to serve the city. Men and women that are out there every day, keep our city safe. I also want to thank families because this will be difficult with you at times. Those awkward times when somebody has to rush off to duty, when somebody has to pick up the pace to help out somebody else. You too will be sitting through many of those times wondering, will he come home or will she come home tonight? Without your support and love and helping them guide through this, they would not be able to serve as well as they do for us. As you embark on your next step in your law career, it is important to remember you will be looked at as leaders of our community. Always keep this in mind and never forget it takes a leader to work in our community and interact with our public. I can't help to think of an old Gaelic saying. One is found in my mayoral coin. It reads, Ní nurgo cur la ke la, which basically means there's no strength without unity. Unity is a word that describes togetherness. It naturally ties itself to community which focuses on bringing people together for the greater good. In unity there is strength. It is the foundation of success. Our community truly embraces our police force and truly wants our police force to be successful. You are now entering into a community where your work and what you do and your efforts and your service are greatly appreciated. You will put yourself in harm's way every day in pursuit of justice and protection of the innocent. Honor those who have served before you with your actions, and remember you have the support of the city and this community, and we have the utmost trust in you. On behalf of City Commission, I would like to offer one more congratulations to our newest officers. You have put in the work, you've done it for the right reasons, and you have earned it. Great job.
Thank you, Mayor, and certainly appreciate the support of our elected officials, as well as the really great support of our community. And there's a lot of family in this room, but I also had an opportunity to run into people who are just from the community that knew some of these folks as they were growing up or attended their church or, somehow other acquainted with them. And that's equally gratifying to see that everyone's here showing their support for, a really big step that they're taking forward towards a very noble and honorable profession. And it is not just for anyone. So it's a big day for them. As you can see from their bios, our new officers have a wide array of experiences, skills, and backgrounds, all kinds of different stuff. But one thing that really stands out in those bios, and I think in the video that you're going to see going forward here in a little bit, is that they share one very important common passion, one little blue thread, if you will, that connects them all. That's to serve our Fargo community and keep us safe. To a person, that's why they're here. You see that in each of their bios. You see that in their stories. That's a passion that can't be taught. It can't be feigned. It can't be pretended. They have to have that passion to serve. The dedication to serve must be internalized and unwavering in its commitment. And we see that in this group of 10 here from Academy number 5. They've all demonstrated that and will continue to do so going forward. So Academy 5 folks, we're all extremely proud of you. You worked hard, committed yourself to the ideals of our profession, the vision, mission, values of our department, and successfully completed a challenging 13-week academy. Really excellent job. Really proud of you. Now, we know that as you go through an academy, there's all these little different teams and competitions, right? Academy 4 were the first police recruits, first group that we paid to censor the academy. So that was kind of their thing. Academy number 5 is distinguished by the fact that all of you passed the North Dakota Post test on the very first try. Never before done. Nice job. I have also taken that test, and I find it to be quite challenging. So excellent work. I've already heard from the Highway Patrol that now that happened, they're probably going to have to change it because it's too easy. But we'll see what we can do about that. Over the last 13 weeks, you transitioned from a group of people, just a bunch of 10 people in a room, coming here for kind of a common purpose, didn't really know each other, didn't know maybe what was before you, and transitioned into a well-prepared and dedicated team. Shared values, shared commitment. You work not only for your own success, but for the success of your team. Further, you've done so under the most tragic and trying of circumstances. A line of duty death and the shooting of 2 other officers. That's a lot in a very young career. And so, obviously, when that happened, I thought to myself, well, I wonder if this will change anyone's mind. And sometimes it changes families' minds, and that's totally understandable. And, I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to meet, discuss, provide perspectives, and have that discussion. Having shared similar experiences, I think that was very beneficial, and again, a really proud moment for me to hear from all of you that aside from that risk, that danger, and this really tragic event, you remain committed to this noble profession and to our city. And I think that's important. And that's really to your credit, that you continued that commitment and grew closer together, not only with your classmates, but with our department team and our department family. You were part of that whole event. You got to see a lot of things firsthand that many folks haven't ever seen, and know that you're working in a place that's committed to you. So again, I'm really proud of your maturity, resiliency, and character. So congratulations on successful completion of phase 1 of a long and rewarding career with Fargo PD. As you prepare for the next phase, we got the book part done. We aced the post test. We're feeling pretty good. We're going to enter into PTO training, right? The whole next big phase of your career. Some additional changes are going to happen now that you're sworn in, or will be sworn in here as officers shortly. You're not just going to be Gage or Landon or Jaden, right? You're going to be name followed by Fargo Police Department officer, right? So anything off duty, on duty going forward, that's how you're going to be viewed. And so you kind of have to have that perspective that you represent yourself, our city, our department, our profession. And that's just one of those things that we carry with us, and hopefully we carry it with us proudly, that we're proud representatives of that throughout the course of our career. As you've seen firsthand, you're joining a healthy and positive culture that's committed to you and our values. You share equal parts in safeguarding our culture, and it's extremely important that you do so. I'm confident that you'll represent yourselves, department, our city, and our profession well, and really excited to see you take those next steps. Family, peer support, and wellness are also so important. And again, I think we've had a chance to experience that firsthand very recently for both all of you and our culture. All the family, peers, friends that are here today, that weren't here today, all those folks help keep you grounded, assist you in your career journey, help you out of those little ruts that life puts before us. So make sure that you're staying in touch with them. You've got this new family and this new team that you're going to continue to grow close with, but don't forget about your family and friends outside of that as well. Wellness keeps you healthy physically, mentally, and financially, and allows you to provide excellent service to our community. So again, I encourage you to engage in our department wellness and peer support programs. If you need help, all you need to do is ask. We're here for you. And again, I think you've had an opportunity to see that. This department really takes care of its own, and we've got a lot of really well-trained people and resources from chaplaincy, psychological services, and peer support to help everyone along with those. So as you take your next steps, you now become a contributing member of our department team as we strive to attain our vision of a safe and unified community built on trust, accountability, and inclusion. We do this by enhancing leadership and training, two very important pieces, strengthening community relationships, and continuing to grow a forward-thinking department. So as you prepare for those next steps, a couple other pieces of advice I want to pass along to you. The very first one the mayor mentioned already, you're going to need to be a leader. Leaders need to have the ability to influence human behavior to achieve organizational goals that serve the public. That's what we do. We're here to serve the public. We're trying to influence human behavior of others. Sometimes it's not that easy because they may not be in the same plane that we are in, right? But how do you get that influence? How do you grow that influence? And it's not so much by official title or rank or badges and on legal authority that the state gives us. Influence is gained by building relationships and treating everyone with dignity and respect. You must do this daily, both internally with our department team, and most importantly with the community you serve, all the folks on your beat, the folks that you interact with. You will be seen to them as a leader. You might just be a new cop on the street. When something goes bad, they look to you for leadership. What do we do? What should I do, right? And so that just happens. I know in the academy you learned about Sir Robert Peel and all of his principles. And the police are the public, and the public are the police is the most common one that we hear. But I also like principle number 3. The police must secure the willing cooperation of the public in voluntary observance of the law to be able to secure and maintain public respect. So the way we treat people, the way that we grow that influence, we get from that more voluntary compliance, less use of force, less conflict. And so it's an important piece. Number 2, skepticism is healthy. Cynicism is deadly. Okay? We want you to be professionally skeptical, ask questions, learn things. The Academy is very good at making sure that you don't walk out of the room with a question in your mind. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions and learn as you go along. I think you also learn that failure is not something to fear, right? It's an opportunity to learn. So as long as you're doing the right things for the right reasons, I stand behind you. 3, never take your position for granted. Remember how excited you are today. You accomplished a really great thing, right? You're going to be wearing a badge representative of a lot of things, and you should feel that way every day when you put your uniform and badge on and come to work at Fargo PD. 4, remember everything you do is important. Nothing's insignificant, okay? So we no longer really have inconsequential contacts. From the traffic accident to an investigation to a phone call to someone that comes into the lobby to make an inquiry, those are all opportunities to garner trust, support, and cooperation of our community. People see that and they recognize that. And we've had just a ton of community support and recognition of all those efforts by our personnel on a regular basis. So we can really see that we're having that effect. And that's also something that you just need to keep in mind. All those contacts matter, and we need those partnerships. Remember our why and our purpose, right? To protect the vulnerable from harm by preserving life, peace, and property. Plato famously said, in a republic that honors the core of democracy, the greatest amount of power is given to those called guardians. Only those with the most impeccable character are chosen to bear the responsibility of protecting the democracy. You are now a guardian of our Fargo community. A very important role. We know that policing is imperfect but a noble profession. We're all human. We can make mistakes. We learn from those mistakes, and we move on. There's great risk and great stress, but also great responsibility and expectation. But even greater intrinsic reward and satisfaction. Remember the good things that you do every day, every shift. We do a ton of really, really great, good, laudable things every day. And it's easy to forget that in the midst of sometimes negative information or negative perspective, right? So you got to remember that intrinsic reward that brought you here to begin with, that you want to keep that with you as you go forward. We're very much today in a challenging environment, but you're joining a resilient team dedicated to protecting our community and each other as guardians. Thanks to all of you for joining your team, and we look forward to your future success. Congratulations. So I'm going to turn it over now to Lieutenant Troy Hanig. Oh, I'm sorry, nope. Are we going to the class speaker? Correct. All right, Gage Tessing, class speaker. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by welcoming instructors, law enforcement members, fellow graduates, cherished family and friends, and esteemed members of the Fargo community. It's my great honor and privilege to be before you here today to welcome 10 new officers to the Fargo Police Department. However, we're not just here to honor us, but to also celebrate the hard work, sacrifice, and support that all of you have given us and continue to provide us. Academy instructors, thank you for all the hard work that you've put into our success over the last 13 weeks. I recall coming in on the first day so nervous and worried about getting your names right to where we are now, where that's not even a thought in our mind. You always pushed us to be our best and to remember the sacrifices we've made to be here. There have been so many challenges that we've been put through, some fun and exciting, others difficult and strenuous. And through it all, we're always told to remember our why. I love being posed this question, and it's a question that I have been asked from community members, instructors, friends and family. But for some of us, it's what we've been called, or it's what we've always wanted to do. For others, it's setting a better example for our kids. But above all, it's a calling to serve and protect, to go out and put our lives on the line each day we put on this uniform to ensure the best for the community we serve. While loved ones may not fully comprehend why we choose to do what we do, this is our purpose and it's what we've been called to do. Fellow graduates, congrats, we did it. We've grown so close through this academy and have established bonds that will last a lifetime. I recall going through taser and gas training with you. If we all learned one thing about each other those days, it's definitely by the time the OC spray comes around, Landon is not going first. Landon, the reactions you gave us spooked us all going into the exposures. I cannot say enough how great of a group we have. You all are extremely hardworking and have always pushed to complete the job. I have no doubt in my mind that when we show up on calls together, that everybody will have the confidence that the person next to them will be able to take care of business professionally and tactfully. I'm sure all of you are nervous to go out on your first day of patrol in a few short days. However, I can assure you that the training and experience we've developed, that we will all find great success through our next phase of training. As we step out into the world as sworn officers, let us remember that our uniforms not carry just the weight of authority, but the responsibility to make a positive impact on the lives of those we encounter. Each interaction we have no matter how small, has the potential to shape perceptions, build trust, and create lasting change. I want each and every one of us to take this message and remember it through our careers as we continue on our journeys through life. As we embark on our careers, let us remember our why and our oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. Go out with meaning and purpose and enjoy each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Gage. Nicely done. And now for your viewing pleasure, we put this together as part of every Academy class, our city comms team, and they do an extraordinary job of interviewing, meeting with all of our new folks, documenting the experience from start to finish, and a lot of work across the department. So really an incredible team effort there on their part. I think you're all going to enjoy this video.
Before I was in the academy, I was a student at MSUM in the construction management program. I graduated on May 12th, and I was a project manager for an industrial contractor here in town, and just wanted something different, so now I'm here.
I grew up in Hutchinson, Minnesota, and then went to school for 2 years in Winona at Winona State University and transferred up to Fargo here to finish out my degree at NDSU. And then I previously worked for about 13 months at the Clay County Jail in Moorhead.
I recently just graduated from Moorhead State with my criminal justice degree. And I've had the pleasure of working at the West Central Regional Juvenile Center. Working in law enforcement was always a goal of mine. That was just kind of a stepping stone just so I could get some experience.
Towards the end of my time in high school, and then after I joined the Army, I was working as a military policeman. That's when I really decided I wanted to make law enforcement my career. I'm the second oldest out of 10 siblings, so I was in charge of the younger siblings a lot of the times, and I had to be the guy that kept them safe and made sure they followed the rules and did what they were supposed to. So I think that was instilled in me from a young age. I've always wanted to become a police officer ever since I can remember. My mom's got documents where I was in second grade writing that I want to be a police officer when I grow up, and I knew for sure when I began middle school that that's something that I wanted to do, so never changed or quavered on that.
Honestly, I just feel like it's the calling that God's put on my life. All I want to do is just help people. I don't really know where it came from, but I just feel joy in doing it, and if I never received anything back, just the satisfaction of helping somebody is enough.
I always felt safe in Fargo. Like, as a female, some females are like standing off fish about like feeling safe in places, and I've really felt safe in my community, and I think that I want others to feel the same way. So I think that's what really drew me to be an officer in Fargo, and Fargo PD has a good reputation.
I mean, I've been doing ride-along since I was 11, 12 years old. I remember going to gun calls, domestic stuff with my dad, and it was the best thing because the people that, you can go to that one situation over and over, but it's that one chance where that person might want to change something or do something different. Just to even make that impact on one person's life would mean everything and anything, and it's just knowing that that's possible. Even if it's one person out of thousands I can see a day, it's that one person that's going to make that difference.
I've always toyed around with the idea of being a police officer. Obviously, I joined the military, then my path in life just took me all sorts of places. I didn't really realize that I wanted to join the police department until 2020, when everything started going down, and I saw that there was a need, and people within my community didn't have a great outlook on police officers during that time period. And
I grew up, I knew a lot of law enforcement officers. They played a major role in my life. And I knew that there was good to be had within the department, and I wanted to be a part of representing that to the people around me.
Experience so far at the academy has definitely been a long, grueling, but very worthwhile experience.
The Fargo Police Academy is a 13-week course where they teach you everything for the basic needs of becoming a police officer.
We've been doing a lot of classroom stuff, but also applying it to scenarios, doing actual training, which is really cool because we get all these PowerPoints one day, and then the next day we're putting it to use and actually doing hands-on things.
We've learned a lot about criminal law, traffic law, a lot of that typical stuff you would imagine a police officer would have to know. But then also they've taught us how to be personable, how to have communication skills.
I think some of those valuable classes we had were learning how to communicate. Really enjoyed learning how to communicate better, how to work better, especially work better with people that are in crisis. And I think that's helped me grow a lot as a person.
Coming into this academy, you're learning new material every day. As a new officer, every call you respond to is going to be something new, and having to make that decision and follow through with it has been very challenging, but as we do it more and more, you start to feel more comfortable.
We train for the unknown. It's like there's no other way to put it in simpler terms, but you train hoping you know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but that's never how it happens. So you got to learn and train to think on the fly.
We could be having a conversation with a preschooler or a family, and then all of a sudden you're on a critical incident. I mean, the amount of adversity that we face, being able to be prepared to walk into those things is really something that I've felt like I've personally developed and grown with. From day one of worrying about I need to get every little specific thing right or else something big could just come from it, to now it's just like, okay, I know the broad strokes, I know where I need to go, but it's just like, okay, cool, how do I get there? Throughout the academy, I definitely learned that I have a lot more in me than I thought I did. Honestly, going into it, I wasn't quite sure if I had it, but now coming out of it, definitely pushed me, grew me in a whole new way.
Being able to just put myself in the situation of the uncomfortable and knowing that that's what it's going to be, and being able to overcome those challenges and actually doing it, I think has helped me, knowing that like I can do it.
One way I've seen myself grow and progress through this academy is confidence. A lot of times I'll second guess myself for an answer I know to be right or a decision I know to be right, but I'll just oftentimes step back a little bit more because I would rather not fail. But one thing that the instructors have always said is to fail forward. So that's something I've taken and embraced.
Police Academy does a good job of teaching or training you for those big situations and even the little one, even the more routine scenarios. But I think it definitely gets you in the peace officer mindset.
Looking back, it's nice to know that I've really stapled home those values that we have as a police department. It reinforces everything that I believed coming into it, but really knowing how to apply that in real world experiences is so much better.
The biggest value that I've seen from day one, well, even in the interview process, from day one all the way through to this day, and I'm assuming till I retire, is accountability. Accountability in this police department is huge. Day one, every time we draw our weapon and we're supposed to put it back in our holster, we're supposed to look around the area, scan and holster, and every single time one of us didn't do that, everyone's holding ourselves accountable. And I'm just excited to be in a department that I know our training program, they're very big on accountability. Every time you make a mistake, you just own up to it, you move on, you get done with it, you learn from it. That's a big thing that I've learned, is not just making a mistake and kind of going, dang it, just learning from it and moving forward.
Mistakes in training is something that you take seriously in the moment, and it's something you're not going to forget about when the actual moment comes. You're going to seriously recognize a situation that might seem like something we came across in training and realizing, I made a fatal mistake here before and I'm not going to do that again. And I know what I'm going to do different.
our 6 main trainers that are with us almost every single day. They come into work, they're dedicated. They truly do want us to become the best officers possible.
They make it really easy to get into some of the stuff that's a little harder to sit through. They really show their passion in all the things that they're presenting us, so it's a lot easier to get through some of the more difficult stuff.
To come in every day, learning about different topics, whether that be DUI investigations, patrol car use, it could be use of OC spray or taser, whatever it is. I'm beyond excited to be able to get out there and do what I've always wanted to do. I've always had a passion for doing something that I get to do something different every single day, and I can't describe how excited I am to do that.
Passion has grown a lot. Like, obviously going through and growing up, I've known that I wanted to be in some sort of criminal justice, law enforcement, some sort of field. So that's really been exciting, getting closer to the end, knowing that I'm going to be out there actually doing something and making a positive impact.
I feel the calling towards this work. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is where I'm supposed to be. The main thing that has changed throughout the academy is my commitment. Coming into the academy, I wasn't super committed, but then throughout the academy, learning what it is, getting taught the skills, provided with the resources that I need, definitely allowed me to fully commit.
I know we've dealt with some difficult things this summer, and there's been instances where I've kind of had to have a heart check with myself and realize, think about, is this really where I want to go? And every time one of those tough situations has come up, it's just re-solidified my belief in my knowing that I need to be here. This is what I'm called to do, and this is what I'm going to do. And every time I go and pick up my kids or come home to my wife and just know that I'm protecting their community and hundreds of thousands of families just like mine, it makes every time we go to the academy and we're sitting through presentations for 8 hours, it makes every single one of those moments worth it.
After the incident, the critical incident, I think knowing that we were stuck here in the department and we couldn't help or be out there, I think that made a lot of us want to go out there and do something and actually help those in the community or help the other officers.
Being the first responders to a scene, being the one to make a difference, and I think that's the biggest thing is showing up every day at work. You are a person that's making a difference.
At the community picnic, when the kids were coming up on the dunk tank, just the smiles they had, and just coming up and then getting hugs and the stickers, and they were just like, oh my God, cops. That's probably my biggest motivation.
My passion has definitely grown because I've gotten to see what this department actually stands for. Whether it is guardianship, whether it is respect, just a lot of those values that are held. What we've gotten to see throughout this academy in great detail is officer wellness. Just with the events that have gone on, just people coming in and checking on how the academy students are doing, the chief coming in and talking to us, taking his time out. I've learned that this place is truly a team, and they have a family environment.
I think the biggest thing I've taken away so far is just how good the people in this department are. There's a lot of support from every level of command, whether it's just a new academy graduate like me or the highest level of a chief. Really good to know that we do have a really nice support network where we can help each other out and that you're never totally alone. We have to be able to trust our partners in everything that we go into. Going through this rigorous academy, knowing that the professional level of training and the high expectations and standards that is set here at Fargo, I know that I can go into every call for service with my partners knowing that they receive that same level of training and experience that I have. And I think that close bond that we have only will allow us to work more effectively.
I've really enjoyed my time here, learning how to be a police officer in a regular city and deal with regular people and in situations that I wouldn't have normally dealt with. It's definitely helped confirm that this is what I'm supposed to do in my mind, and it's just made me more excited to get out there and do good work.
They had a little bit of fun there, and that was good. Very accomplished group. Every time I watched that, I saw it last night for the first time, but I picked something else up new, and I'm looking at, must have been the DUI training. Someone's walking the line. I'm like, who's got nail polish on? And you don't have to answer that question right now. So, good work, everyone. Okay, now I want to introduce Lieutenant Troy Hanig. He's a unit commander for the Training and Development Unit, and it's his staff that carry the bulk of this training, along with the many instructors across our department from the various subject matter expert positions that also come in and help instruct all these folks to learn all the things that they need to know. So, Lieutenant, he's going to walk through a little bit about the Academy and some class awards.
Hello, everybody. I'm Troy Hanig. As the chief said, I'm the lieutenant in the Training and Development Unit. Our department really is very blessed because we've got a lot of extremely talented instructors and subject matter experts that do our instruction throughout our 13-week academy. And as these 10 would explain to you, it is a life-changing experience for them, and the amount of mentorship they receive during that time is phenomenal. Among those talented instructors, we have 5 people along with me that make up our Training and Development Unit. These 5 individuals not only do the recruiting and hiring for our academy, but they also organize the behind-the-scene logistics, as well as complete the bulk of our academy instruction. These 5 are tasked with coaching, mentoring, and setting the example for our academy recruits so we can begin to develop that proper culture and that service mindset that we expect in all of our officers. Simply stated, without this team and their hard work and dedication, the Fargo Police Academy would not be possible. I'm going to invite up these 5 individuals at this time. First one is going to be Sergeant Brandon Kerr, Sergeant Travis Berger, Officer John Novacek, Officer Ian Christon, and Officer Rob Essler. So as they come up, why don't we all give them a hand? This academy wouldn't be possible without all their hard work, and it definitely does not go unnoticed. So, as part of our academy, we continually monitor the performance of the recruits, and we celebrate their hard work with awards that we'll give out today. The members of the Training and Development Unit will explain what each of those awards consists of, and then they'll announce the award recipients for Class 5. So first off, Sergeant Brandon Kerr will come up and announce the valedictorian.
The valedictorian award is given to the student who finished with the highest overall grade point average. We cover a wide range of complex topics, and students are assessed through various practical knowledge applications and written exams, including the final post-certification test. I would like to congratulate Jaden Jackson with the valedictorian award for outstanding academic achievement during this winter's academy.
Firearms proficiency, familiarity, and safety is a necessity for students as they transition into their law enforcement careers. Not all students come into the academy with the same level of firearm skill, which can be an area of fear and trepidation for some. This student showed great attention to detail in regards to firearm safety, skill improvement, and overall performance, as well as being a resource for their fellow classmates that maybe were not as proficient as them. I would like to congratulate Anderson Hagret with the Top Gun Award for his excellence in all of these areas. One course of instruction is the Emergency Vehicle Operations course, or EVOC. The course encompasses numerous skills officers need to be proficient in to be able to safely respond to emergent calls for service. During the EVOC course, students are subjected to several obstacles, including the serpentine, evasive maneuver, and controlled braking. Students then race through the final challenge course, which includes all of the obstacles as well as some additional ones. This award is given to the student who passed the course with the fastest time with the fewest penalties, also known as hitting cones. I would like to congratulate Aaron Duncan with the Top Gear Award for completing the final challenge course in 1 minute and 26 seconds with no cones hit.
Over the course of 13 weeks, students have been constantly tested and evaluated in their performance both academically and physically. An extremely stressful experience, to say the least. The Balboa Award is earned by the student who has displayed a constant and infectious hardworking attitude and determination no matter what task they face. The student that was always prepared for the day's course of instruction and showed a never-quit attitude when faced with difficult situations. This student not only strived to personally improve every single day, but helped make the people around them better as well. I'd like to congratulate Jaden Jackson with the Balboa Award for his exemplary character and determination throughout the academy.
The PRA, or Physical Readiness Assessment, is a physical test that all Academy students must pass in order to graduate the Academy. The course includes an obstacle course that is meant to imitate the stress involved in a foot pursuit, a dynamic weight control machine, similar to dealing with the resistive subject, and a heavy bag carry to simulate a downed officer or civilian rescue. All of these obstacles are designed to mimic tasks an officer may be asked to complete at a moment's notice. This award goes to the student who posted the fastest official time. I would like to congratulate Gage Tessing with the PRA Award for posting a time of 3 minutes and 13 seconds, over 3 minutes under the state requirement.
Congratulations to all the award recipients. And again, a special thanks to the training and development team. Let's give them another round of applause, please. So Academy graduates will each be awarded a certificate for their successful completion of the Academy. So I will now begin to call each recruit up individually for the presentation of certificates. The first 5 can get up, and then we'll call them up one at a time. All right, Yana Charette. We can give her applause. Aaron Duncan. Molly Gast. Anderson Hagarat. Jaden Jackson. Jack Kruger. Roderick Murphy. Landon Smith. Gage Tessing. Congrats, Gage. Got it right. Cole Winter. I'll turn it back over to Chief Cebulski for the badge pinning presentation.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the last piece of business here is doing some badge pinning on all these new folks. And before we do that, I think it's important for us to understand the meaning of the badge, why we wear it, what it symbolizes. It really goes all the way back to the ancient Romans. The centurions, the guardians, carried those big shields in their left hand and had their whole left side of their body protected. And as law enforcement developed over time, that shrunk down to now what we call a badge or a shield. But it's in the same place, placed over your heart. Because as we said before, service comes from the heart, and you have to have that passion and that commitment. All these folks do, and all of the folks in our department do, and that's exactly what that badge is there for. It also symbolizes, obviously, the public trust and authority that we hold, that we have to make sure never gets tarnished, and that we're always representing that every day when we're out there. On the top of a badge is an eagle, which seems makes sense. It's the national symbol of our country. But there's actually a lot of symbolism between an eagle and an officer. Eagles nurture their young. They teach them how to fly. And when the little eaglets are all the way up in that eyrie, their nest, high above the rest of the world, at some point they're feeding them and developing them. The adult eagles figure that it's about time that little eaglet starts to fly on their own. So they push them out of the nest. And if they fly, that's great. If they don't fly, if they start flopping around, the eagles swoop down, put them on their back, bring them up to the nest. Continue again to nurture and build them up. And that's exactly what we do with our new officers. That's where our FTOs, our PTOs, their role, eventually they're going to push you out of the nest, right? So you might do the little flippy thing, but that's okay because they're going to make sure that you get back up and learn what you didn't learn. If you're flying on your own, that's great. And so when you fly on your own, then eagles get rewarded with food. We give them donuts. Eagles also hunt in pairs, right? We work in pairs. We work as a team. They have incredible vision, which we also need to see threats, things of that nature out in the distance. Strong talons to grasp prey, which we sometimes need as well. And most importantly, when there's a storm, all the other animals in the forest are bailing out. Eagles lock their wings and fly towards the storm. They go towards it, above it, and when the storm passes, they come back down and they help to resettle. Exactly what the cops do every day. They don't know what the storm is. They don't know what the call is, but they're going towards it. And so, again, that eagle, that badge has a lot of symbolism and meaning in our profession. So now that we know that, let's pin a few badges on. So this is relatively simple. There's no time limit, so no one needs to stress out here, family members, as we do this. We always like to afford the opportunity for our folks to pick that significant person that they want to pin their badge on. As we come up, I'll call your name. Just come on up here. I'll hand you the badge. Get her locked in there. You'll have a nice opportunity for that photo. And we'll move on from there and give them one last oath here. So let's start with Yana Charette. Her father, Irvin, who apparently took her on a lot of ride-alongs. I don't know if you ever made any arrests at 12 or anything like that, but I know it was a lot of the inspiration for Yana's career choice here. Erwin's also got many years. He's retired law enforcement. Okay, then we have Aaron Duncan, also brother of Jonas Duncan on our department. He's chosen his fiancee, Lydia. That's probably a good choice. Do your badge pinning. Molly Gast and her parents, Jim and Melanie. Anderson Hagerath and his girlfriend, Avery. Jaden Jackson and his mother, Sheila. Jack Kruger and his mother, Mary. Roderick Murphy and his wife Grace. Landon Smith, his wife Emma. Gage Tessing and his father Chad. Chad's an old pro, 28 years with Pope County, and also Gage's uncle and grandfather, former law enforcement. Cole Winter and his parents Daniel and Carrie. There you go. Excellent job, everyone. Nice work. We're just going to administer the law enforcement oath of honor. If you just raise your right hand, repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will treat all individuals with dignity and respect, and ensure that my actions are dedicated to ensuring the safety of my community and the preservation of human life. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always maintain the highest ethical standards and uphold the values of my community and the agency I serve. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, here's our new officers. Okay, thank you, everyone. I want to thank our staff for all their excellent work, our executive and command staff folks for all their leadership, and just across the board, great groups of folks here at Fargo PD. All of our law enforcement families, community, friends, appreciate your love and support and partnership. It's really important for all of us to be successful. So thank you for all of that. What we are going to do now is our traditional Fargo PD reception line. So we're going to have all these folks come on the other side of the table. We're going to run our line from, oh, okay, yes, I'm told you should sign those oaths. Do you have pens, though? Yes, okay. All right, thank you for that. I want to make sure there's no skullduggery here. Excellent. Okay, now if everyone kind of just floats around to the other side, we're going to run from this side over here with our Fargo PD personnel reception line, take some photos with our exec staff, command staff, etc., and then any family photos that you would like to have, the flags will be here. Our comms team will facilitate that. Make sure you get those photos. So thanks again, everyone. Much appreciated, and let's give all these folks one more round of applause.